Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Emily. I am a professional illustrator, some would say. I get paid to draw. I have been in this industry for well over 10 years now since I left university. I've worked in animation studios, I've worked freelance on some big projects, and for the past 5 years I've been doing this. I run an online stationery shop, I'm an illustrator, I do some content creation, all of that fun stuff. And what I want to do today is sit down and share with you 5 of my tips that I wish I could give to myself, the beginner digital artist that started well over 10 years ago. These are the tips I would have given her. And if that's you, if you're starting on your digital art journey, I really hope these tips help. This video is very kindly sponsored by Photoshop, who have been with me since I started. I started using Photoshop, oh my gosh, 2008? Been a while, and I'm so grateful for them sponsoring this video. I will chat more about them later on. So my first tip for you is you will never reach your dream art style. And what I mean by that is the goals you have set right now, the dream artwork that you hope to make one day, you will reach that. If you keep practicing and you keep drawing, you will get there. But the problem is, the day you reach that skill level that you aspire to be at, you're already thinking about the next step. There's no artist out there that feels like they've made it. They've reached an art style and they are the best in the world. We're always trying to improve. So my tip for you is don't wait until you're good to start sharing your artwork. Don't think, right, well I won't post yet because it's not very good. I'll wait until I'm at this level and that's when I'll start sharing my artwork. But the problem with that is once you reach that level, you're already going to be thinking, well, I'm not good enough. I need to be at this level. So if you start sharing now, when you're down here, by the time you get all the way up here, you will be able to share this amazing journey you've been on. So my tip for you, in all of that waffle that I've just given you, is you're never gonna hit a point where you are happy with your style. You're always going to want to improve, you're always going to want to get better. And that is what is so amazing about being an illustrator, is that there's no limit on what you can do. You can always get better, you can always improve. So share with the world. My next tip for you is comparison is definitely the thief of joy. I love that I follow other illustrators online. I feel so inspired when I go online. But if you don't feel like that when you go online, if you go on Instagram and you're scrolling away and you come away feeling down about your own work, it's time to stop. Take a break from social media, don't be consuming it, just spend time in your own artwork. What you don't realise when you go online and you see someone doing a beautiful drawing, you don't realise how many years it's taken them to get to that point. It might look like they've been this overnight success, but they might have been working on it for the past 20 years. Like, you have no clue. So you can't compare your experience with anybody else. Some people are naturally very gifted. Good for them, that's great. It might be taking you 10 times longer than anyone else. There's no point comparing to anybody. You have to spend time focusing on you, your artwork, and not paying attention to what other people are doing. I am a mum, I'm a mum to a 5-year-old, and it is so hard to try and find time to draw. And so what I have to actively do is not compare myself to people that don't have children, that don't have the responsibilities that I do, that have so much more time to draw. Yes, we might have been doing it the same amount of time, but if I can only draw once a week for an hour, and they can draw every single day, all day long, of course they're going to be better than me. Of course they're going to be improving at a faster rate. So don't compare yourself to people, and don't compare yourself to people that have completely different circumstances to you. So I have been a customer and user of Photoshop for well over 10 years now. I first was introduced to it at college. I remember opening this software for the first time and just being so in awe of what I could do with a drawing tablet and the illustrations I could create. I used it throughout my time at university. I'll never forget graduating from uni, getting my first freelance project and them asking me, have you got Photoshop? And thinking, oh, yeah, I have it and I can use it. I then got my first job in an animation studio in 2014, and I was hired as an intern at that studio. And I remember one day in the corner of the studio was a really big drawing tablet. It was huge. I remember the boss at the time saying, hey, have you done any drawing? And I said, yeah, I kind of know Photoshop. And from that moment, I became the concept artist of that studio. I was designing characters and props and backgrounds, and it was the dream job and I used Photoshop every single day. Over the past 10 years, my style has changed so much. Back when I first started doing digital art, I was really trying to find my style. I was doing sort of cartoony style illustration. It was all very sort of block colours, and I wasn't using all the features that Photoshop had to offer at this point. I was just trying to figure out a style. And then as the years went on, I developed more of a realistic style, still cartoony, but I really enjoyed working with textures, and I loved drawing hair and making hair look real, trying out new brushes in Photoshop, still trying to find my style but using new features that Photoshop was bringing out. My favourite thing to do was going online to try and find brush packs and trying out all the brushes that Photoshop had to offer, and to see if I can make fun textures on my characters. My style then changed again. I started to strip back from the realistic style and started introducing more outlines and more fun, bright colours to my illustrations. Where once I was terrified to draw eyes, all of my characters would have their eyes shut. I was starting to feel more confident. Drawing eyes was like my favourite thing to do. I'm constantly changing my style, but Photoshop is just always there. I have this running joke with my other art friends that I love to use layers. I don't like to be limited by layers. I can finish an illustration and have thousands of layers because I just love the control it gives me. It's been 10 years of using Photoshop, but I have to say I have definitely found the brushes, the textures that work for me, my actual favourites that I have been using for years and years and years, and I still have my favourites that I have pinned to the top of Photoshop. China Marker and the Happy HB, those are two brushes which I will leave linked below. They're part of Photoshop so you can find them. Those are the two brushes I use on all of my drawings. I absolutely love them, but there's so many. And another thing that I've been working on recently is creating patterns, and I'm really enjoying the pattern preview. So you can see how a pattern is gonna work live. You can move it around and see how it's gonna repeat on a large scale. But recently I've been making loads of patterns for products, and using the pattern preview in Photoshop has really helped. So if you want to give Photoshop a try and see all the magic that it can give to your artwork, I will leave all the details below. Thank you, Photoshop, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into the tips. So my next tip is, don't feel like you have to post everything you do online. I know it's very tempting when you've been working on an illustration to upload it. In the past, I've been guilty of rushing a piece of artwork that needed a few more hours because I wanted to get it up on Instagram that night. We do it because we want validation from others. We want to upload our illustration, we want to get likes, we want to get comments, we want to see and get feedback from our audience. But what you should be doing is drawing for yourself. You need to get comfortable creating illustrations knowing that no other person on this planet is going to see them. You need to make artwork for you because you like it. You need to get better, you need to draw constantly and not feel like every single piece of artwork that you do has to go online, because it really doesn't. So my tip for you, the next illustration you do, I don't want you to share it online. You don't need to share it online. Draw it because you want to draw it, you feel good drawing it, you're doing it to improve your skills, and keep it for you. If you find that every single thing you do is going online, ask yourself why you're doing it. If drawing for you is like a tick box of like, this is what I need to do today and I need to upload it for people to see and like, you're very quickly going to lose the love for it. Trust me, I've been there. Start drawing again just for you and not for the eyes of Instagram to see it. Now this next tip follows on from the last one, and that is, if you do decide to post, which you can do by the way, I don't want you to feel like all you can upload is a final illustration. Get comfortable sharing your work in progress. Share the rough sketches, share when things don't work, share when you're not sure if it looks great. People do like seeing your finished beautiful drawings. They love it. But they also want to see what's going through your head as you finally reach that illustration. Why not share your work in progress? Share a sketch, share the colour theory and practice as you're trying to figure out what the final design's going to be. And then when you do share the final thing, people will feel like they've been on a journey with you. It becomes more than just a finished illustration. It becomes this piece of art that people have enjoyed to see the journey. Does that make sense? So if you go onto your Instagram right now and all you can see is like final piece, really encourage you to start sharing some work in progress throughout and get comfortable sharing that side. Some people are so terrified to share when things don't look perfect. I love it. I just love sharing rough sketches. I think it's so fun. I actually prefer seeing people's rough sketches than their final illustrations. So share more of that when you're working on your next piece. And my final tip for you, and this is one I wish I had known 10 years ago, and that is using references is not cheating. I don't know where it's been put into my mind using a reference image is cheating. It's the complete opposite. It's essential, absolutely essential. If you're drawing an object, let's think of an object, a teacup. You can sit and draw that, that's absolutely fine. It's probably in your mind, you've used a teacup in the past. But there's so many like little details that they will not be in your mind. And by finding reference pictures, you can enhance your illustrations so much. Now there's a difference between using references and copying, and I think people assume that because you've done a Google search to find something to help you improve your illustrations, that's cheating. And it's really not. As someone who has worked in the animation industry, I have worked on big productions, reference is key. Reference, whether it be for textures or anatomy or posing. Posing's a big one. If you are drawing a character, to get a really good pose, reference is key. If you have been put off doing a Google search before doing an illustration because you're worried, oh, I need to have it in my brain, I need to know how to draw this without doing a Google search, just scrap that. Just scrap that now. Don't listen to anybody that tells you it's cheating because they're wrong. So let's summarise my little top tips for you as a digital artist or an artist in general. You're never going to reach your dream art style. You're constantly going to be evolving and you're constantly going to improve and get better. So stop worrying about not being perfect and not being at the level you want to be, because it's constantly a moving target. So just enjoy the journey and share your progress as you get better. Number 2, comparison is the thief of joy. So if you are not enjoying being on social media, if you find that looking at other people's work brings you down, makes you feel bad, step away from social media, enjoy working on your own stuff, but aim to get to the point where you are looking at other people and you feel so inspired and motivated to work on your own things. Everyone's been doing this for a different amount of time. People have different resources, so stop comparing yourself. Remember, not everything needs to be posted online. You can just draw for yourself. You don't need validation from other people. You don't need other people to tell you what is good. If you like a piece of artwork, that is up to you. If you don't like something, again, that's up to you. Don't feel like you have to post everything. Just simply enjoy illustrating for yourself. And if you do want to post online, don't feel like you have to just post the finished thing. Share work in progress, share your sketches, share your rough work. All of that artwork is beautiful and it doesn't need to be hidden away and only the final piece shared. And finally, using reference is definitely not cheating. Don't let anyone tell you different. And the final thing I want to end on is be yourself. Work how you want to work. There's no set way. Just because these major illustrators that are doing so well in the industry do it a certain way, don't feel like that has to be what you do. An example is, I am a digital illustrator. I love illustrating. It's my passion. I have no desire to own a sketchbook. I don't own a sketchbook. I don't draw traditionally. And for many, many years, I felt like I was less of an artist because of it. I felt like to be an artist, even a digital artist, you had to have a sketchbook. When you went out for the weekend, you would have to sit on a park bench and draw because you're an artist, that's what you do. I have no desire to do that. I do not draw traditionally at all. It doesn't make me any less of an artist. I am very comfortable saying that now. I figured out what works for me. I love illustrating, and just because I don't do what others do doesn't make me any less of an artist. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips that you would give to yourself if you've been an illustrator for a while, or if you're just starting out and have any questions, please ask them below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much to Photoshop for sponsoring this video, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Bye guys.